Vanessa, Silversea seems to be kind of, I get the sense it's almost reinventing itself. It's coming out a little bit more aggressively into the marketplace. Would you agree with that?
I think I would actually, Nina. There's a lot going on at Silversea. And of course, Royal Caribbean bought into 66% of it last year. And there's an influx of capital coming in. There's this new Invictus program, which is making luxury even more luxurious, putting back caviar on the menu.
Oh, I see what you're
Sustainable caviar. Yes, yum, yum. Beautiful champagnes. So I sailed on the Silver Wind in January, and I haven't seen you since then.
No.
And she had just come out of a dry dock, looking all lovely and fluffed and buffed and quite tasty.
Can I go into dry dock?
Yes, I think I need to go before you. I'll book my date. But she's lovely, and they've been spending a lot of money on the fleet, as I say, and they're building new ships. We have the Dawn and the Moon arriving in the next couple of years. We have Silver Origin going to the Galapagos. Lots going on.
So for agents because I think there's a lot of news around how luxury market is growing, more and more people.
Of course.
There's more opportunities to sell to a luxury client if you so wish.
Well, you know, I would disagree. There aren't any more opportunities than there have ever been. It's just people are paying more attention.
Okay.
Because I've always had a bone to pick about this.
Oh.
Well, I was one of the leaders in luxury years ago, and pushing luxury forward. And there's, you know, maybe the population is aging, and so I would give you that. But people just need to offer luxury. Offer it, for goodness sake.
You're going to have to deal with a growling, bone-picking Vanessa.
Yes, I mean, really, seriously.
So seriously, how do they then go out and take this fabulous product that has been up-leveled even more with sustainable caviar, which somehow caviar, when you add sustainable, doesn't sound as exciting, but nonetheless.
But it's easier to eat. Yeah.
How do they go after selling that? How do they do it?
And we've talked about this a little before when we've done other cruise factors. I mean, many people buy luxury automobiles. They buy big, beautiful houses. They buy lovely pieces of jewelry. I mean, this is a normal, everyday occurrence. Maybe a lady will buy a very special handbag that might cost ridiculous amount of money.
That's true.
It's the same audience. So luxury doesn't have to be ridiculously expensive. What it has to be is it has to give the guest a wonderful time. They have to feel that they are cared for, that they have attentive service, that they have one-on-one personalized attention in that service. When we were, Silversea has suites only, and they have butlers. And for the first time in a long time, I had a female butler. And she was adorable. She was one of the best I've ever had. She was very caring. She was very thoughtful. She was warm and engaging. That service level makes you want to hug someone, right? So that starts it off. How the cruise line delivers that service and how they consistently deliver it, which is more important, the consistency.
I'm going to challenge you. Not a lot of people can say best butler I've ever had, right?
No, because not many people get butlers, do they?
No. Consistently.
Right. I don't either, mind you.
Quite a privilege. But so if you're not someone who feels comfortable, like it's very, I may have savings where I can afford a Silversea, for instance.
Yes.
But I don't necessarily feel comfortable with having someone poking around my stateroom, and how do I behave with a butler. I think there has to be
Okay, I hear you. I'm just
for certain people, that would be potentially a little bit overwhelming.
Well, I certainly don't want them to unpack my clothing, and I don't need them to do a lot of things. But sometimes you come back and you need, I had a hot bath drawn for me. I think I've told this story before when I was exhausted and I was just wet and bedraggled, and he had already presented me, if you will, with this hot bath with bubbles and champagne and rose petals and candles, and I was on my own, and it was just a very sweet, thoughtful thing. So a butler is really an elevated stewardess or steward for your suite or your stateroom. They also have an assistant who actually cleans. So the butler's there to bring you meals and to take care of you, make reservations. We were having trouble getting into La Dame because we hadn't pre-booked it. 24 seats, best restaurant on the ship, glorious. So Nez, could you please get us a reservation?
So you don't have to stand at attention with the butler. I mean, that's, probably for a lot of people.
They're very endearing.
reality.
They're very endearing,
Yes,
and they're very
and they make
sweet.
you feel comfortable.
Very much so. And I think the whole service level on a luxury, smaller ship is delightful. And you can really get to know the staff and they, you, and if you return again and again, as often I do, and hopefully guests, you know, they meet the same people again. I had, you know, a previous butler, Ms. Lee, how are you doing? It's so
Yes.
nice to have you back.
Right.
It's nice to be back. Thank you. That kind of thing. So, but it's the inclusiveness of luxury, right?
Yes.
I don't
So
like to
important.
have to sign for anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's pretentious. It doesn't mean it's overly sophisticated so that people feel uncomfortable. And the key thing with luxurious ships, Silversea in particular, they sail to all 7 continents.
Yeah.
They sail to over 900 destinations.
I know it's hard to grasp that. That's huge.
They have, yes, I mean, the
don't have to do
polar
the same
regions, no.
itinerary
They've got a
twice.
northeast passage itinerary and a northwest passage literally at the same time. They won't meet because it's, you know, the Arctic is huge. Nobody realizes how big the Arctic is actually, and it's like 5 countries. Greenland, Norway, Russia, America, Canada share the Arctic Ocean and all those polar bears. So that's, so I was very pleased to be on Silversea again. I go a couple of times a year. I like to stay on top of what they're doing, how they're making change, what are they doing to increase the guest experience and the guests, you know, value for this. And listen, you can go for less than $10,000 a couple. It's not as if you have to mortgage your house. I mean, I have friends I was just with the other evening, and they're going to Australia for 2.5 months, and they're spending $50K.
Now that's a nice commission.
Yeah.
That
Very.
is a nice
And they're
commission.
cruising part of the way, not on Silversea, but just
Yeah.
my point to you is they're retired and they're of an age that they're still very active, and it's a one-time trip, and they're spending a boatload of money. And there are a lot of people that will do that to go to particularly somewhere like Antarctica or the Arctic, which is where I would love to go, because, you know, it's climate change. We have to be very aware.
It's not going to be there forever.
Well, not in the way it is now, and not in the pristine manner. So I think a lot of people, it's that proverbial bucket list. So you have to look for those cruise lines, and Silversea in particular, that can offer you a bucket list experience in comfort, in safety, and in wonderful, sort of, a wonderful onboard atmosphere.
All Butler.
It's whatever you want, really, you can have.
I
No,
love
I'm
it.
serious. So I think,
Yeah,
you know, please offer this.
Yeah.
Please start offering more and more of these ships and cruises to your clientele. Because as I've said before, if you don't, someone else will.
All right.
Really.
Is there anything left on the bone to pick? Have we picked it clean?
Pretty clean, I think,
All
yes.
right, good. Well, it's a
Thank
great
you.
message. It's a great message,
I think it's an important message, and people who know me know I've been preaching it a long time, so please pay attention. I'll be dead soon if I'm not careful. I'll be calling you from the grave.
You don't want that.
No, I
Oh,
don't. No, I
God,
definitely
we
don't want that.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Nina. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.